those guitars just like plug right in. If it were me and I was coming up here, if I could, I would plug that guitar up my butt, because that's where I'm going to be pulling these jokes out of. Woo! So, did anybody catch a Super Bowl last night? No? Okay.
I saw it halftime.
Yeah, well, so I would raise my glass. It's over there. I would raise my beer to the Kansas City Chiefs for a good job. But I'm worried that a live eagle would fly into this bar and intercept it. I've heard that happens. Woo! Yeah! Go Eagles! I was Kansas City Chiefs until the Eagles won. Now I'm Team Eagles. If anybody's asking.
Being fansexual.
Yeah! I watched the game with a couple of friends and I kept trying to make this joke. I was like, geez, these guys keep talking and playing. When is one of them gonna get to the point? And nobody got it. And then later I Googled in football what you call it when you make a point, and it's a touchdown, not a point. That's why nobody laughed. I don't know much about touchdowns, but I know much about touch-ups, which is why I'm always 5 minutes late to work. You know, I used to think football was real and like not rigged or staged, but then I learned that they're just wearing butt pads. It's just a padding on their butt. Their butts aren't that big.
Oh, that's like the whole reason I watch it.
I know, right?
Wow.
Me too. But you know, that's what I'm saying. And in front, there are like things. That's also just a protective gear. It's not really their deep print.
Damn.
But in my head, I'll just be having my own version of fantasy football. And in that version, the whole point of their game is for them to slap each other's butts. So, speaking of all the wonderful acts out here, and speaking of artists, I think artists are amazing, and I think there is a place for everyone, and I think it's posthumous fame. I think everyone who is doing something amazing will probably get famous after they die, just like Franz Kafka, who told all his friends, make sure you burn all my manuscripts. And nobody listened, and now we all know him as a household name, so same as Van Gogh. Well, I kind of like to hope that's the same with me. I keep all my stuff in an attic somewhere. I don't have an attic yet, but that's the plan. And my plan is to say really loudly on my deathbed, burn all of it. Wink. But I'm going to make sure they get the wink part, otherwise that'd be really awkward. But you know, you never know, because you never know if you'll be famous until you're in heaven. Like, what if we make it to heaven and we see Franz Kafka and we're like, hey, I know you! You wrote the memoir, you wrote that book story about the big cockroach. And he's like, oh, you know me. Oh, good, it worked. Then the only way that I would find out if I was posthumously famous is if people started dying and I asked them if they saw my manuscript turned into a movie. And they'd be like, no, I just left my wife and child behind. This is not a good time. But you know, I'll keep it, don't worry guys, I'll keep this short and sweet, just like my last relationship. He was a great guy. He just had a wall full of Funko Pops.
Oh God.
Oh, that's it, right? Yeah.
It wasn't me. It wasn't.
Lies.
Anyway, I'd like to shout out to Sam for letting me also wear his jacket. He and I are the only people in public that we can end the function in each other's jackets, and no one thinks it's weird because we're living together. We're just really good friends, by the way.
Sam's like, wait, what?
Could have fooled me.
Are you wearing a hoodie? Actually, I
This
can't
is
see
yours.
anything on you.
Yeah, this is your. Oh.
Because it's camouflage.
Yeah, you can't see it from the camera either.
This is her.
Anyway, comedy is funny because it's a lot like journalism in the ways that you kind of have to write it, right? So like, I kind of try to think of it in the similar ways. Like, one time when I was auditioning for this play in high school, there was this other girl who was really wanting the lead part, and I was like, that's never gonna happen. So I said, fuck you, and I came to her house late one night, and I ended up mass murdering her. Texas Chainsaw Massacre style. And then later, all I had to figure out was how to bury the lead. And that's what they teach you in journalism. So it's kind of the same, you know? Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the they thems, that's all. That's all I've got for you tonight. Because I wrote my set 2 hours before performing it.
Yeah. Go Chiefs!